All right, enough Spurs. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Manchester City lose at home to Aston Villa. So much for the post-Europa League winning hangover. But Jules, it's all about the farewells.
Yeah.
John Stones, Bernardo Silva, and of course, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, it was really beautiful, I have to say. A lot of tears. Bernardo Silva came off first. Obviously started the game like John Stones came off first. To a standing ovation, obviously, from the Etihad with the new stand. So 60,000 fans in there. And then the guard of honor almost from the two teams. And he got really emotional really quickly. So did Pep too. And then John Stones a bit later. And then Guardiola at the end with the speech on the middle of the pitch as well. It was beautiful. It's the end of an era, obviously. And then a big moment, a big change, a new chapter for City. And for those players and for Guardiola too, of course. I think the defeat is anecdotal. Irrelevant completely. But I felt it was a very true... like grateful, graceful finish, tribute as well to them.
I was watching the BBC's flagship program in this country last night, and both Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney did not like a guard of honor happening during the game. Is that grumpy old man stuff?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Times have changed.
And not everybody did. You know, we didn't see at Liverpool, for example, for Salah. But
No.
No.
City.
But what I mean by that is like let people do what they want. If Villa were happy with it, then they did. They do it. It's beautiful. If others are not too keen, you don't do it. It's not one rule.
And he has a stand named after him too. And his dad was in the stands.
Pep, exactly. Yeah, and he made that joke that even through the stand, he will look on them and make sure that they do all the things right, even when he left. And meanwhile, Gabby, champions Arsenal wrapped things up with a 2-1 victory away at Crystal Palace, who were preparing for their Conference League final that we mentioned on Wednesday. Max Darman got his first start in the Premier League, and Oliver Glasner also said goodbye.
Yeah, there was a distinct kind of like last day of school feeling to this.
Yeah.
I don't know what positions Zubimendi played in this game, because obviously this is not my priority. But every time I see him, he'd be like sort of right back, right wing. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Understandable. Obviously, they have a bigger game to prepare for in the Champions League final. A word on Oliver Glasner. I think the job he's done is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if he's the ideal coach for everyone because he can be spiky, he can talk out. But in terms of actually preparing your team and getting buy-in for the players, he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Jules, more cheery send-offs. We're going to get all these out of the way now.
Yeah.
Andy Robertson and Mo Salah play their final game for Liverpool in a 1-1 draw with Brentford.
Yeah, Salah with a last assist, which, by the way, take him just over Stevie Gerrard in the assist ranking for Liverpool. So another record that is broken. The tears as well. Salah said after the game that he cried more yesterday after that game than in his whole entire life. I don't know if it's true or not, but... Again, I thought the tributes were beautiful, and social media is not always a nice place. Let's be honest here. But I felt that both City and Liverpool, but also others, the tribute that they did on social media for their players was pretty special and really emotional. Like, it would make you teary just watching it yourself. And well done. They would be legends in their own way. Robertson and Salah probably even more, especially. And it was a nice way for them to leave.
I think what's noteworthy too, I saw a stat that. Phenomenal servant to the club, Mo Salah. Clearly, Liverpool football-wise aren't going to miss the Salah of this year, despite the moments.
Yeah.
And there's an incredible stat, and this goes though beyond Salah. It goes to squad construction. It goes to slot. Last season, 79 goal contributions from Liverpool's wingers, and so obviously Gakpo, Luis Diaz, Chiesa for his 108 minutes, and Salah. This year, just 32 from those same three guys plus Rio. Something obviously needs to change.
Yeah, not with Diaz, but the other. Yeah, for sure. Big summer ahead again. Bayern have done the double, Gab. They beat Stuttgart 3-0 thanks to a Hurricane hat-trick in the Pokal final.
Yeah, so in the first half, Stuttgart, I thought, were great.
Really well, I agree.
They created a lot of problems. They had some success with the ball over the top, testing them. The thing about Bayern is you can just only kind of batter them for a while.
For 90 minutes.
It's hard to do for 90 minutes.
Exactly the same in the league when they got battered by them in the league.
So he ends up with a second half hat trick that takes his seasonal total to 62 goals.
Yeah.
Now, do you know? I might have said this before. I'll do it again. Do you know how many people have scored more goals in a season in all competitions since World War II? Sorry, Dixie Dean. Other than who've scored more than Kane?
From Cristiano and Messi?
Yes.
And that's it?
Gerd Muller.
Gab Muller, of course,
67
yeah.
in the magical 72-73 season. That is some company to keep.
Extraordinary.
Jules, we're not done. We have more quick hits.
Yes.
Kylian Mbappe scores his 25th league goal of the season, his 42nd overall, as Real Madrid beat Athletic Bilbao 4-2.
Yeah.
But Jules, the real story is that for the first time since 2004, Florentino Perez will face a contested election. He has to beat somebody this time.
He has to if he wants to be re-elected. Remember, he brought forward the elections, 3 years forwards, after going on that rant on that press conference about people who wanted him to have illnesses and not being there and everything. So
people who said he looked tired.
He looked tired and old. Enrique Alvear would be the one competing with Florentino. I mean, at this stage, I think nobody can beat Florentino Perez, and I would be surprised if he's not re-elected, but at least it's good to have something democratic where somebody else is in and you actually have to choose between two candidates. I think we all know who's going to win, but yeah, it's still good.
That's the big thing. Now, this is the part I don't understand about Madridismo. One is they're saying, these could be the last elections before the club is privatized and we move away from this model, and people have talked about it and how do you do it and so on. I mean, I think that's overly dramatic.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that if you are going to move in that direction, it is put to a vote. But the other thing that I don't follow is like, people are saying Alvaro has no chance because the way to win these elections is you make promises. I'm going to bring this coach. I'm going to bring these players, right? And that's how historically these things are done. My guys, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, can we maybe assume that today Real Madrid fans and Real Madrid voters are smarter than to fall for this nonsense? No, seriously, like you think if Alvear comes out and says like, I have a contract with Lamine Yamal, he's coming next season with Harry Kane and Bruno Fernandes and God, and that's going to be like, come on, like seriously?
Yeah.
If he comes out and he says, Pep Guardiola is going to be I mean, like, are you really going to go and vote for the president of a club that you say you care about based on that? I don't think so. Look, everybody says Florentino's going to win. I hope at a minimum they get to have a debate or they get to actually have plans out there. So
with the program, this is what we do and everything.
Uncontested elections are never good for democratic institutions, whether it's Real Madrid or FIFA or UEFA.
That's true. Manchester United with 3-0 away at Brighton, and Bruno Fernandes scores a goal and gets his assist record.
I mean, I'm happy for him. I don't need one assist more, one assist less. It's super impressive. He was player of the year, voted on by the football writers. I got no argument with that. I might have gone with Morgan Rogers, but whatever. The big test now going forward is what can Michael Carrick do with his team next season. Final Champions League verdicts in Serie A, Jules. Roma returned after 7 years, and they'll be joined by Little Como, who 7 years ago were playing amateur football.
And that's a great story of Como, and we know they spend a lot of money before you start shouting. We know they have the richest owner, one of the richest owners in football. But still, Cesc Fabregas has done a really, really good job by investing on the right players, on youth, on the way they play, etc. They beat Cremonese on Sunday to get that spot, also because obviously Milan and Juve, as we said, and as we talk later, didn't have a great off-season. And for Roma, I'm happy for Daniel Malen, who arrived in January, and maybe some Roma fans would have been a bit underwhelmed about Malen. But really, he scored a goal in this game as well to take them to Champions League. He was outstanding for them. And I'm happy for Gasperini. And in a way, those two successes compared to the two failures that we will talk about after is also look like, to me, Gab, you know more than me on that, but like a plan, and you had a direction and you employed a coach that knew exactly where he was going to go. And maybe it's a bit early for Como and Roma in that kind of project, but at least there was some coherence to it.
Yeah. Rather than just signing a bunch of old guys and saying we'll win straight away. The other thing too about Como's money that they spent, yes, they spent a lot of money. This is the club with a 12,000 seat decrepit stadium. However, their wage bill is only the 10th highest in Serie A. So it's not like this is not a Manchester City situation.
And Gab, the flip side of it, obviously of it all, is that Juventus, who only drew 2-2 against Torino in the derby, and Milan, who were beaten at home by Cagliari, already saved Cagliari, by the way, both miss out on Champions League places. How big is this?
It's huge. By the way, big shout out to Cagliari for actually playing this game. In the past, we have nothing to play for. Let's let them. You need the points, take the points. That didn't happen. There's a terrible performance from Milan. They actually took the lead in this game. The fact that Leao was his fifth change, the fact that He didn't come out until much later to go and talk to people afterwards. It's a
I
mess.
can't believe he could stay after this, Gab. I know you think he will stay, but I would not keep him if I was the fan.
Silver. Well, I mean, there's obviously going to be more fan protests. Jerry Cardinales, he likes to do, flies in and flies back out for like he's there for like 8 hours. Yeah, that's really going to change something. I think this could be a blessing because it means that if he had qualified for the Champions League, he would have had an automatic renewal and a pay rise, and all the people who love to kiss his backside and make excuses for him in the media says like, "Oh, look, Jerry, you have to go and give him more money so you can bring in more Goretzkas, more old players, Goretzka, Lewandowski. Yeah, let's go for it." And then while you play this turd of football that you've been playing all season long, I'm not joking. This is what would have happened.
Yeah.
Now he only has the 1 year left. It's easier to sack him. I think he should be sacked. Personally, at this stage, give somebody else a chance.
I agree.
But so many heads supposedly will roll in Milan. Jerry's got a lot of decisions to make. I don't know how qualified he is to make them. He's got this guy who was with the ATP Tour before, Calvelli, who supposedly he's like, "Oh, I don't like football." Okay, that's fine. I mean, he deals with other stuff for him. I suppose he's a very smart guy. Maybe this whole don't like football, maybe that's what you need is a fresh set of eyes, and maybe this guy can guide him because you have to get this right. As for Juve, I said this before, they lost this when they failed to beat, when they lost to Fiorentina at home last week. It was a game that I thought they were a bit unlucky in. They're on the right track with Spalletti. And I think they're in better shape that way. Barcelona win their third Women's Champions League in the last 5 years, beating Lyon 4-0. Jules, you were there. I thought this game was actually very tight for a long time.
Yeah, the game plan worked really well for Lyon. Their current manager is obviously the former Barcelona manager, Giraldez, who knows that team really, really well. The problem is it's hard to do that when you man mark Alexia Putellas and Clara Serra-Jordi in midfield. It's very difficult. And the first mistake, they paid for it. And once you concede that first goal just before the hour mark, after that it's even harder. And it's a wonderful Barcelona team, even with less depth and a shorter squad. They've got young kids from the academy that are really, really good. And they've got a star like Eva Payo, who scored 2 goals and gave an assist to Salma Parabuelo, who was outstanding as well in this game. So they deserve to win it in the end. 4-0 is a bit harsh on the score. But Lyon will come back and Michel Kang will come back stronger.
I think what's remarkable about Barcelona, and I read this in my music column today, this is their third in 5 years.
4 years
in 4 years. Sorry, this team made probably not as good as the previous ones that won it, but they've been caught up in the Bartomeu mess. Let's not forget. They've had to cut back. You look at the amount of talent that's left this club over the last couple of years to be able to reload from La Masia and so on. That's really impressive.
Sunderland beat Chelsea 2-1 to qualify for Europe for the first time since 1973. Meanwhile, could missing out be a blessing in disguise for Chelsea and incoming coach Xabi Alonso?
I think it is because it's going to force you to reduce the squad. It's going to force you to balance the books. It's going to give you another year breathing space. And then obviously you've got to qualify next season. It's going to give Xabi Alonso more time to work. Look, they're in this horrible situation for a bunch of reasons. They're under this 5 years agreement. They've settlement agreement with UEFA. I think it's better off this way. Let's build slowly. Let's have a plan, and let's see where we are in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
This was way back on Friday, but Lens won the Coupe de France, beating Nice in the final. Jules, this was a special season, and Nice now have another de facto final coming up.
Yeah, incredible. First ever Coupe de France for Lens after 3 defeats in finals before. Well done to them, to Pierre Sage, obviously, Stonewise, our friend, and Joseph Gourlian, the owner, of course, and Florian Thauvin, who was the big guy this season for them. Incredible. They pushed PSG almost all the way in the league, qualified for the Champions League, not won this trophy. The scenes, if you haven't seen them in Lens, but also in the Stade de France, where out of the 80,000 fans in the Stade de France, 60,000 they reckon were from Lens. Incredible. And then when they went back home at 2 a.m. at the ground, it was amazing. What a season, what a team. Barcelona lose 3-1 at Valencia, though Lewandowski scores in his final game for the Catalans. Gab, it doesn't really matter. They were already on the beach, but they have some important decisions to make.
Yeah, and of course, one of the big ones is what they can do in the transfer window this summer. It looks like from a Spanish salary cap perspective that they hope they can get to a 1-to-1, which basically means for every dollar they save, they can spend $1 on new players, which is a good position to be in relative to the mess they were in before. All the talk is about Rashford. All the talk is about center forward. I think they definitely need another central defender. Big question for me is, do you have to sacrifice one of your attacking midfielders to do it? I think they might have to, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But obviously, Hansi Flick gets the last call here.